Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. You move closer to what appears to be a New York's finest convention, looking around in the hopes of spotting a familiar, if not altogether pleasant, face. No such luck. True to his Nosferatu lineage, D'Angelo is nowhere to be seen. You stop on the sidewalk outside the street, trying not to draw attention yourself. All of a sudden, one of the cops standing by the entrance to the building looks straight at you. He does a double take, and you instinctively look away. Bad move, you think to yourself, as you notice him making his way towards you.
Yeah, come wait.
Not allowing panics, I do need to eat, so maybe this is my chance. You stand your ground, doing your best ordinary citizen impression. The cop waddles across the street towards you, his sense of authority putting that extra spring in his step. You try to remain calm, even as he put his hands on his holster. Shit. You can't help but mouth the word. This is gonna get messy. Suddenly he stops, as if instinctively realizing that this is just inches away from a grisly demise. He waves at you dismissively and yells in a thick Brooklyn accent, "Hey, this here's a crime scene! Be on your way!" Relieved, but trying not to show it, you put on your grumpy New York face and start to walk away. As you make your way past a dark alleyway, someone grabs you by the arm and pulls you into the shadows. If the smells of cigars and cheap cologne don't give it away, the gravelly voice sure does.
Nice save. I mean, dumb to show your face around here in the first place, but still. Come on, I'm parked around the corner.
Before you know it, you're sitting in the passenger seat of a busted old sedan parked half a block away, giving you a nice view of the police gathering.
We can take them? No.
No, that seems like but I need to feed!
You right?
Nice view of the police gathering. We can take them. No sweat, see? There's only two of them.
That we know of. Might be more inside. I don't know, kid. Getting a little risky, but this seems downright stupid.
I need to feed before we do something bad. Come on, did your balls fall off with along most of your skin? Where's your sense of adventure? He leers at you, though he'd never admit it. You can tell you got him to go a bit.
Funny, kid. Let's do it your way. Hell, I was getting hungry anyway.
Just take it slow. Don't make a mess out of it. Get in close before you make your move. You take one, I'll nab the other. Nice and clean. You get out of the car, careful not to slam the door behind you. You take a good look around, scoping out the area, making sure there's no one around. As you cross the street, you look back and note that D'Angelo is no longer in the car. Good. Let's hope he gets in position for when it's time to act. You mosey along the sidewalk, getting closer to the two cops. As you get closer, one of them looks your way with a look on his face saying, "Can I help you?" Before he can even open his mouth, you pounce on him, sinking your teeth into his neck. Fighting off the urge to savor the moment, you quickly make off with him in the shadows of the nearby alley. There, away from prying eyes, you lean the unconscious cop against an overstuffed dumpster and finish your meal. It's not the most appetizing environment, but it'll have to do. You make it quick and to the point, gulping down the precious blood as if it were your last. Out of the corner of your eye, you see that D'Angelo and the other officer have joined the feast. Once you both had your fill, you lean the officers against the wall, mindful to put their hats back on. Don't let anyone say you're not respectful of authority. Alright, so we fed. That's good. We're good. An eerie quiet befalls the alley. For a brief moment, you stand there, listening intently, looking around for any witnesses. Not a soul. Looks like you got lucky this time.
It is our
His
fates.
his gift,
Oh,
our
his
fate, yes.
gift.
Finding the crime scene proves easy enough. You just follow the yellow police tape, and before you know it, you're standing in the middle of what used to be someone's living room. The place has been completely trashed. Knocked over furniture, shattered glass, the works. Looking around, you notice a sign scribbled on the wall nearby. It reads, "His gift, our fate." You're no expert in typography, but the crooked letters look similar to the ones you saw back in Red Hook. Sure enough, there's very little in terms of blood, save for the occasional stain that's bound to end up on the carpet once you toss someone through a glass coffee table. D'Angelo leans against the doorway. He seems lost in thoughts, sucking on his cigar compulsively and mumbling to himself. You lean over a bit, trying not to make it obvious that you're listening in. He managed to cast the last few lines of his monologue.
And that's been kind of them so far, but the questions kept piling on, and now they found themselves amidst the wreckage of another
He's
life.
narrating his fucking case.
Yeah.
I love it.
It was up to them to sift through the debris and come up with a neat little pile of answers.
Oh my god, D'Angela's my favorite so far.
We haven't met the others.
I know, but he's still my favorite so far. And suddenly he tenses up, as if sensing your eyes upon him.
Feel free to chip in, kid. Anything catch your eye?
No blood, same as before. His gift, our fate.
Yeah, there's that. What do you think it means?
Seems about Kane, you know, given he was the first vampire.
Yeah.
His gift, in their theory that Kane was the first vampire?
Oh, it's more than a theory. To some, it's a deeply held belief. And yeah, you're right. It's about the gift of Cain, as in vampirism, our fate. Clearly, someone wasn't too happy to receive it. God damn it, I hate where this is going.
Which is...
Me being right about thin blood involvement, I mean. Anyway, looks like we're not getting any more out of this place. No way around it. We gotta see the body.
To the morgue! Are you protecting thin blood? Sure, might as well be prudent.
Yeah.
Yes, it is necessary. We need to actually see what this fucker was killed by. In for a penny, in for a pound. Might as well be prudent.
My thoughts exactly. The dust won't have it bad, as it is. If I'm gonna accuse one of them of breaching the masquerade, I want solid evidence. And I mean rock fucking solid.
Fair.
Luckily for us, I might know someone who could get us an audience with our dearly departed.
To your surprise, he pulls out a cell phone, a busted old clamshell. He flips it open and spends a good minute browsing through the contacts, muttering to himself. Finally, he makes a call.
Hey, you know who this is? Yeah, that favor you owe me? Time to deliver. Listen, I know you got a fresh one. The murder in Bed-Stuy. Yeah, I need to take a look. Yes. Yes, now. Yeah, you'd better.
With that, he hangs up and gives you his trademark wry smile. Aren't cell phones forbidden? Wait, aren't cell phones an issue for the Camarilla?
Only if you tell him.
Fair enough. Fuck them.
Look, kid, I don't use it willy-nilly, alright? It's for special occasions. You don't always have time to throw fucking rocks at windows.
You know what? That's fair.
Can you live with that, or should I worry about being sent to the principal's office?
I'm not gonna rat on you. Relax, D. I'm not gonna rat on you. He shoots you a smile. For some reason, it seems less crooked than usual.
Good to know, kid. Anyway, looks like my guy's gonna come through. Next stop, Kings County.
Kings County, the bleeding heart of Brooklyn. It's beating as hard as ever, with ambulance after ambulance bringing in sick and wounded New Yorkers to be pumped through the tight arteries of the healthcare system. It's a dangerous place for a kid to show their face, incessantly crowded and full of people who specialize in noticing all sorts of physical afflictions, especially the sort that make up the very essence of a vampire's existence, for instance, death. Thankfully, your business here tonight keeps you away from the hectic human hive of the ER. Instead, you follow D'Angelo to a relatively quiet part of the underground parking lot that's closest to your current point of interest, the Kings County morgue. Having found yourself a convenient and suitably unlit spot near the hospital wall, you wait patiently for D'Angelo's contact to appear. Every now and then, you glance over at the undead gumshoe, as if to make sure his moldy mug isn't showing any signs of worry. It isn't, or at least he's very good at hiding it. Finally, after 30 minutes or so, a lone figure emerges from the side entrance. As the human-shaped shadow walks by, you're quick to recognize him as the EMT you saw back at the murder site. Clearly nervous, the 20-something-year-old redhead can't seem to help but look back and make sure no one's following him. Finally, he stops and lights up a cigarette. Without even looking in your direction, he takes a puff and explains, seemingly to no one in particular, Room 112. You got 20 minutes. D'Angelo speaks without looking at you.
That's our cue.
You follow the Fang detective through the same door the EMT walked out of. Luckily, this wing of the hospital seems unusually empty. Still, the confidence with which D'Angelo makes his way through the white and green corridors makes it clear. He's been here before. Finally, he stops in one of the doors. Room 112. That's your stop. Ooh. The room is small, with only one oversized freezer by the wall and a single slab mounted in its center. Sure enough, the body of a middle-aged man is splayed out on its steel surface. Even for a dead man, he seems unnaturally pale. Extreme blood loss will do that to you. Try as you might, you can't help but look at the man's face. His features twisted in abject horror. This was not a peaceful death. Looking closely, you notice two small puncture wounds on the victim's neck. If ever there was a clearer sign of a vampire attack, you've yet to see it. Looking over at D'Angelo, you notice his lips moving in a similar fashion. He's narrating again. Before he can utter an intelligible word, you cut him with a remark. Look at his face. Jesus, that look on his face. It's like nightmare fuel.
No kidding, which means he was fully aware all the way through. He knew he was dying, which combined with the blood loss and the teeth marks on his neck confirms our hypothesis. We have a serial thin blood on our hand. Fuck.
As if on cue, the door swings open. A tired-looking man with a stethoscope around his neck walks in. With his eyes fixed on the clipboard, he doesn't appear to notice you. Yet.
Get him.
That's right. I mean, D'Angelo can just turn invisible, so he's fine.
Letting your instincts take over, you pounce on the unsuspecting doctor, plunging your fangs into his aorta. The precious liquid tastes sickeningly sweet, making you feel a bit lightheaded. It appears the good doctor's been getting high on his own supply. It takes you a moment to get your fill, but when you're done, you immediately feel D'Angelo's eyes upon you. You start coming up with an excuse, but he just smirks.
You quick, kid. I'll give you that. Beat me to it by a pube.
Ew.
Alright, come on. Let's get out of here. Time to pay our dear Primogen another visit.
Robert Larson's home looks about the same as last time. No added security. No angry dogs prowling the yard. It appears that the thin-blood Primogen would rather risk another visit from his old pal D'Angelo than to rouse suspicion of his family and neighbors. Which is good, considering that's what he's about to get. Sure enough, the light in Larson's study is on. You even catch a glimpse of the man shuffling around the room. You look over at D'Angelo, wondering how you're going to get Larson's attention this time. Without a single word, D'Angelo walks over to a nearby street lamp and leans against it, making sure he's visible to any and all who happen to look. Looks like the time for subtlety is over. It only takes a couple minutes for Larson to take notice. You see him lean against the window and storm out of the room. In mere seconds, he's out in front and in D'Angelo's face.
Listen to me, you moldy fuck. I've had just about enough of your shit. You want to pester me, fine, but leave my family out of it.
For a moment, D'Angelo just stands there, motionless, allowing Larson to get his frustrations out. Suddenly, he grabs the thin bud by the collar and lifts him off the ground, and smashes his back against the lamppost.
Hey, finished? Alright. I need to listen to me and listen good. You think I'm enjoying this? You think I like to be jerked around? You think I got nothing better to do than hang around with this little puppet theater you've made for yourself? Now, either you give me the lead I can follow, or I'll start remembering things you'd rather forget.
For the first time since you met him, Larson looks speechless, his eyes wide with fear. He can only mutter under his breath.
You wouldn't dare.
Try me.
Cue awkward silence. You stand there, shifting your eyes from one vampire to the other. Guess it's time to either press the advantage or play good cop. Let's all just calm down. Look, we're all a bit stressed out. How about we all take a deep breath, figuratively speaking?
Nah, I don't feel like it. Tried being nice, but some people don't appreciate nice. Some people do anything to cover their asses. Isn't that right, Robert?
If you want my help, put me the fuck down.
With his feet back on the ground, Larson straightens his collar in a faint attempt at preserving some shred of dignity.
There's a place in Manhattan, Lower East Side, one of the few places in the city where my people can find shelter.
Yeah, I know it.
If you go there right now, you might find what you're looking for.
D'Angelo stares at him for a moment, just long enough to make it uncomfortable.
We'd better.
Finally, D'Angelo loosens his grip. You both watch Larson limp back to his house, looking back over his shoulder. Like he's gonna tell the teacher on you. You look to your partner, meaning to ask what that whole things you'd rather forget deal was. As if sensing your curiosity, D'Angelo cuts him with a preemptive mutter.
Come on, we got it. What we came for.
As you reach the address Larson gave you, you find yourself standing in front of what looks like an old garage. On the outside, the place looks as uninteresting as it gets. You'd think it abandoned, if not for the few barely working lights illuminating its shabby facade. Once you're inside, however, if there ever was a place worthy of being called a wretched hive of scum and villainy, this is probably it. The room is littered with drunks and crackheads, human and thin blood alike, their minds lost in their cruel little worlds, their bodies splayed out on the floor. D'Angelo leans in and whispers to your ear.
I'll cover the back door you see near the front. Let's look around. Let's look around and see what we can find.
Before you can ask what exactly you're supposed to be looking for, D'Angelo disappears from the shadows. Look around quietly. Doing your best to blend in with the crowd, which is fairly difficult considering your upright position, you slowly make your way across the large room. Not really knowing what you're looking for, you focus on the details. A knowing smirk, a hateful stare, anything that even looks the slightest bit suspicious. After a dozen or so empty stares, you're almost ready to give up, when suddenly, something catches your eye. A young, skinny woman, hunched in a corner of the room. She gives you a bewildered look. A thousand-yard stare tells you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's her. As you walk towards her, D'Angelo emerges from the shadows right next to you.
Nice catch.
He kneels down beside her. You can tell he's trying to sound as comforting as possible, but with his gravelly timbre, it's not really working out.
Hey, it's okay. We're not here to hurt you. We just want to talk.
No, don't talk! Too loud! Too loud! She seems halfway out of it. It's like the lights are on, but whoever's inside is still stumbling around after one hell of a bender.
Alright, you like quiet. Got it. Can you tell me your name?
Santa! That's what he called me! Suddenly you hear the door swing open behind you. Even though the night is fairly warm, a cold chill runs down your spine. You look towards the entrance. There's a woman standing there, and something about her just screams kindred. Even though she seems comically overdressed for the situation, somehow, you don't feel like cracking a smile. And wherever she is, you can tell she means business. She starts making her way to the back of the room, not making any effort to sidestep any of the junkies and drunks. They all know well enough to get out of her way. Acting out of bravery or sheer stupidity, you walk up to her. She looks at you as if you were something she just scraped off her shoe. You smile nervously, without even knowing it. Hello there. Who might you be? As soon as you open your mouth, her hand shoots out, grabbing you by the throat. The woman looks at you, tilting her head, as if examining a curious species of insect. Suddenly, her eyes shift as she notices something behind you. Her face turns from a disgusted curiosity to sheer annoyance. You want to be her?
Sure. You.
Hey, Val. It's my assistant you got there. Do you mind?
She rolls her eyes. You feel the grip on your neck loosen, and you awkwardly fall to your feet. She makes her way towards D'Angelo, pushing you aside like a rag doll.
Where is she?
You're gonna have to be a bit more specific, darling.
Don't play coy, Ginny. The manslayer. I know she's here. Our blood hunt has begun, by order of the prince herself. The girl's to meet her final death.
A punishment sentencing a vampire to final death at the fangs of their peers. The code of the kindred and the system for punishing transgression is the law of retaliation.
Hold your horses, honey. I'm conducting an investigation under the auspices of the sheriff. That counts for something, too.
Now look, sweetie, I'm not here for some clit measuring contest. You want this to get ugly? Be my guest. Otherwise, I suggest you step aside and let me do my job.
By all means.
He steps aside in a comically exaggerated fashion. You look at the corner where you last saw Senna, but find no trace of the girl.
Well, I'll be. Could swear she was just here.
Valerie looks at D'Angelo. She smiles softly, but you can tell she's trying very hard not to rip his head off.
You'll regret this.
Story of my life.
Without another word, she turns on her heel and storms out. D'Angelo waves his hand in your general direction.
Come on, kid, let's get out of this shithole.
As you emerge from said shithole, you feel the cool night breeze caress your face. It's soothing, and almost makes you forget how shitty the last few hours have been. Almost.
Okay, kid. Know you got some questions, but it's getting early and I don't feel like having a Q&A session right now.
Well, I guess, yeah. I guess that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you later.
Adios.